Hey everybody, it's Tim. Just giving you an update on the handcart progress. Been working the last 3 nights and I have a few things to show for it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and move on in on it. The first thing I did was I actually went through and finished the exterior of the cart. So I went through and just finished sanding it and prepping it for paint. And I actually primed it, and then now it's really ready to have the crossbars welded in, which I've got to text into a friend of mine about that. And there's a couple of holes that need to be filled, a couple different parts that need to be added onto different places. So anyway, I think it's turned out okay. I identified a couple spots that are going to need just a little bit more work. After I sanded it, I covered everything with painter's tape that still needs to be welded just to kind of protect the metal. So that was really the Monday night project. That was about an hour and a half, and it was a filthy dirty project and needed a shower after that one. And then the next night, last night, Tuesday night, I worked on this piece, the axle, and went through and got that all sanded down, and it turned out pretty good. Can't really complain about it. Those end pieces, brackets are actually made of aluminum. Of course, the axle is steel, and really the only thing on aluminum are the brackets there on the end. But when you start sanding on it and you're not aware of that, it definitely kind of jumps out at you. So that's turned out pretty well. There's a little bit of ugliness here I still need to fix, and kind of the point where I'm not going to do anything else until I'm to that point, and I'll need to be done with the handcart body, because that's where I'm going to use just a smidge of body filler on it. Okay, and then tonight, my main project I was going to do was going to clean out the car that I'm getting ready to sell. And sitting on my porch are these tubes, which are my tongue pieces. So I was recommended this by Kurt Gustafson, and so I went ahead and ordered this particular type of tube. And getting the right kind of tube is a real problem, because standard steel pipe does not fit. So and there's stuff out there that's crazy expensive. So I was excited to get this. So I brought it into the garage, and then next thing you know, I pulled out the parts to see how well they'd fit. And next thing you know, I'm using the die grinder on one end, and then that went in, and next thing you know, I'm trying to work on this other end to get it to fit, and that was not as easy as a fit. So again, this is how it shows up, just like this, and this end goes inside, and this end goes over it. So if you're wondering what it is, here's actually the receipt for what it is. Tube EW 1.5 outside diameter by 11 gauge wall. The type is the HREW, and this is what I paid for it. There was another company that said they had it in stock that was a little cheaper, and then after like 3 days they canceled my order, so I went with this company and actually got it cut to the length that I wanted it, which was good. It's 49.5 inches is what some people have measured. My cart was 49.25 inch, so I actually went with 49 3/8. I don't think anyone's going to ding me for 1/8 of an inch. So I'm pretty sure this cart's never going to be judged at a military vehicle show. So anyway, they cut it to the correct length, and actually there was a price based upon that, which was not unreasonable. Unfortunately, these things are 49.5 inches, which means they're just over 4 feet. So I would have had to have ordered 6 foot, which would have been a little bit more money. So cutting it to that length actually saved me a little bit of money. Okay, so these end pieces are actually the Ed Snyder parts that he sells, and they're cast pieces. This piece here, I believe, is probably cast aluminum, and then there's a brass insert in there. This might be brass, I'm not sure. That looks like it's aluminum. So this wasn't too bad. It kind of almost fit, so I took my angle die grinder and just went around the brass, and brass is pretty soft, and it took a little bit off of it, and after a while it fit right in there. So that wasn't so bad. That was maybe 10 minutes of work, and I was feeling pretty good. So I figured, well, I'll try the other end. And so this is the other end, and this was a totally different story. I primed it because there's some bare metal there. I didn't want it to rust on me. So anyway, so the inside of this piece was marked 1.47 inches, which means that it's 3/100ths under 1.5 inches. I'm thinking, okay, that's not such a big deal. So I started with my angle die grinder, my pneumatic one, and just started moving it around and just taking off a little bit at a time, trying to get it to fit, Didn't fit. And that went on for a long time, longer than I probably should have. And finally, I just got frustrated and just got my angle grinder and started getting a little more Neanderthal with it. And eventually it started to fit on the end. And eventually I got it to the point where it fit. So it took a little bit of work. Then I had to adjust them to get them in the right position, because the spade on this end goes down. This is actually the top up here. So, and the lunette goes towards the top. So I got them on there, and then I just kind of used a hammer softly just to move it around until I got them positioned exactly right. So anyway, again, this is what I started with. And I've got another one for another project if I ever need one. So that's what it looks like when it arrives. So anyway, that's what's going on with the handcart today. One other thing, just an update. With the covers video, some people on the World War II handcart roundup group pointed out that actually that this clip right here should go underneath the cover and hold it down, and there should be an additional grommet here. So I actually went with the pattern of the one that looked the oldest. Some of them were 6 grommets, some of them were 8. I went with the 6. So I'm debating about adding an additional grommet on each of those corners, so then that snap hook can go underneath it. So that's something I'll sort out later. Anyway, that's what's going on with the handcart. So really we're kind of to the point where stuff needs to be welded. The tongue actually needs the rivets put into it. There's one that goes each direction. One goes up and down, one goes left and right. Once that happens, and the crossbars get welded back on, all the pieces get put back on, then this thing will be ready for paint and going back together. So we're getting there. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.